Welcome back everyone. Today we're talking about a car that could seriously shake up one of the most untouchable segments in the automotive world. Because when you think of big, rugged, go-anywhere SUVs, one name has dominated for decades: the Toyota Land Cruiser. It's the benchmark, it's the legend, it's the safe choice. But what if I told you there's a new contender from China that's aiming straight at it? This is the 2026 Denza B8, and after a full mega test on road and off-road, the big question is simple: should you actually cancel your Toyota Land Cruiser order? Now first, let's talk about what Denza is. Denza is a premium brand backed by BYD, and if you've been paying attention to the EV world, you'll know BYD has been moving incredibly fast. We've seen them build everything from affordable city EVs to luxury sedans and even supercars. But the B8 is different. This is their statement SUV. Big, bold, electrified, and unapologetically premium. And visually, the 2026 Denza B8 absolutely looks like it means business. It's a proper full-size SUV with a commanding stance, upright grille, squared-off proportions, and a road presence that feels closer to a Range Rover than a traditional Chinese SUV. The LED light signature is sharp and modern, the front fascia is aggressive without being over-designed, and the body lines are clean and confident. This is not a copycat design. It feels original, expensive, and surprisingly mature. Size-wise, the B8 sits right in the heart of Land Cruiser territory. It's long, wide, tall, and it looks substantial from every angle. Big wheels, chunky arches, and short overhangs give it that off-road ready posture. But unlike the Toyota, the Denza B8 is built around electrified powertrains, and that changes everything. Under the skin, the 2026 Denza B8 comes as a plug-in hybrid or extended-range electric SUV depending on the market. The setup combines a turbocharged petrol engine with powerful electric motors and a large battery pack. Combined output: over 500 horsepower in its higher trims. That's not just competitive with a Land Cruiser. That's in performance SUV territory. Put your foot down and the B8 surges forward with instant electric torque. 0 to 100 km/h happens in under 5 seconds in the top version. Let that sink in. A massive, body-on-frame style SUV doing sports car acceleration numbers. And because most of the low-speed driving is handled by electric motors, it feels smooth, quiet, and refined in daily use. Compare that to the latest Toyota Land Cruiser, which depending on the market comes with a hybrid turbocharged 4-cylinder or diesel setup. It's strong, reliable, and proven. But it's not exciting. It's not fast. The Denza B8 makes the Land Cruiser feel old school in terms of performance. But performance isn't everything in this segment. Ride comfort matters. And here's where the Denza B8 really surprised me during the mega test. It comes with adaptive air suspension and intelligent damping. On the highway, it glides. It absorbs bumps with a softness that feels genuinely luxurious. Road noise is minimal, wind noise is impressively controlled, and because you're often driving on electric power alone, the cabin remains whisper quiet. Switch it into sport mode and the suspension tightens up, body roll reduces, and the steering gains weight. It still doesn't feel like a sports SUV, but it feels controlled and composed. For something this big and heavy, it handles remarkably well. Now let's talk about off-road capability, because this is where the Land Cruiser has built its reputation over decades. The Denza B8 uses an advanced all-wheel drive system powered by electric motors on each axle. That means torque can be distributed instantly and precisely. There's no delay waiting for mechanical systems to engage. During the off-road test, the B8 tackled steep inclines, loose gravel, mud sections, and rocky terrain. The air suspension can raise the ride height significantly, improving approach and departure angles. There are multiple terrain modes that adjust throttle response, torque distribution, and suspension height automatically. And honestly, it impressed. The instant torque from the electric motors makes climbing tricky terrain easier. The car feels stable, planted, and incredibly controlled. It may not yet have the decades of Dakar rally heritage of the Land Cruiser, but in real-world off-road scenarios, it's shockingly competent. Now step inside, and this is where the Denza B8 clearly shifts the game. The interior is modern, tech-heavy, and luxurious. A massive central touchscreen dominates the dashboard, accompanied by a fully digital instrument cluster and even a passenger side display in higher trims. The materials feel premium. Soft leather, brushed metal accents, ambient lighting, and beautifully stitched surfaces create a cabin that feels properly high-end. Compared to the Toyota Land Cruiser, which is rugged and solid but still conservative inside, the Denza feels like it's from the future. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, over-the-air updates, advanced voice control, a premium sound system, ventilated and heated seats, massage functions, panoramic roof, it's all here. Space is also impressive. This is a proper 3-row SUV. The second row offers generous legroom and reclining seats. The third row is actually usable for adults on shorter journeys. Fold everything down and you've got a massive cargo area. It's practical, family-friendly, and road trip ready. Safety tech is also cutting edge. Advanced driver assistance systems include adaptive cruise control, lane centering, blind spot monitoring, 360-degree cameras, and even semi-autonomous driving features in certain markets. It feels like Denza has thrown every piece of technology it has into this SUV. But here's the real question, what about reliability? The Toyota Land Cruiser has built its name on bulletproof engineering. It's famous for lasting decades in harsh environments. That reputation is priceless. The Denza B8 is new. It doesn't yet have that long-term track record. However, BYD has proven itself in battery technology. In fact, BYD is one of the largest battery manufacturers in the world. Their blade battery technology is known for safety and durability. So while the combustion engine component may still need time to prove itself globally, the electric side of the B8's powertrain comes from a company with serious experience. Another huge factor is efficiency. In daily driving, the B8 can run purely on electric power for a significant range, depending on the battery size. That means short commutes can be done without using petrol at all. Fuel economy in hybrid mode is significantly better than a traditional large SUV. Over time, that could mean serious savings. And then there's price. In many markets, the Denza B8 undercuts traditional luxury SUVs and comes in competitively against high-spec Land Cruisers. When you look at the performance, tech, and luxury on offer, the value proposition becomes very strong. Of course, brand perception still matters. Toyota has decades of trust. Denza is still building its global image. For some buyers, that alone will be reason enough to stick with the Land Cruiser. But for others who are open to new brands and cutting-edge technology, the B8 presents a very compelling alternative. Living with the Denza B8 during this mega test revealed something interesting. It doesn't just compete with the Land Cruiser. In many ways, it redefines what a large SUV in this segment can be. It blends traditional SUV toughness with modern electrified performance and luxury car refinement. So should you cancel your Toyota Land Cruiser order? That depends on what you value most. If you want proven long-term reliability, a heritage badge, and old-school mechanical dependability, the Land Cruiser still makes a strong case. But if you want cutting-edge technology, blistering performance, electric driving capability, and a cabin that feels like it's 5 years ahead, the 2026 Denza B8 makes a very strong argument. This isn't just another Chinese SUV trying to copy established brands. It feels confident, well-engineered, and genuinely competitive. And perhaps most importantly, it signals a shift in the market. The era where legacy brands automatically win by default is ending. The 2026 Denza B8 shows that innovation, electrification, and ambition can challenge even the most iconic names in the industry. And that's what makes this SUV so fascinating. If you're in the market for a large, capable, luxurious SUV and you're considering a Toyota Land Cruiser, you absolutely need to test drive the Denza B8 before making your final decision. Because this might just be the moment where the balance of power starts to shift. And honestly, after this mega test, I wouldn't laugh at anyone who decides to cancel their Land Cruiser order and go with the Denza instead.